This is Brie Olson, and you're listening to Without Your Head.
All right, and welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil.
This is Annabelle Lecter.
That would make me Terrible Troy.
And joining us...
Lawrence.
Yep, there we go. Lovable Lawrence. Excellent. It's good to have you here. Longtime friend of the show. I think longtime friend of everyone listening. Laurence Harvey.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Yeah, it's good to hear you. It's funny. It was like a year ago this week, because it came up on my time hop that you were on the show. And so it's the 1 year anniversary of last time we spoke to you on the show.
Oh, two.
Yeah, well, I think it was the last time. It was the first show after New Year, and then this is the second. So,
yeah. So normally we're talking about all these movies you have coming out, and we'll talk about movies too. But we'll change your pace because you're a very talented man. You actually have an album out with the Duke Street Workshop, Tales of HP Lovecraft, and you can explain it a lot better than I can. Why don't you let people know what it is?
Okay, it's an album that's coming out. I think the actual kind of release date is the 22nd, but we're having a launch this Saturday, and it's basically two stories from HP Lovecraft, except we're not doing it like a talking book, nor is it sort of songs based on the story. We're trying to do a mix between. We're trying to make the voice and the music kind of match, but it to be like a dramatized reading kind of thing. So that's what it is. And the voice isn't more important than the music, and hopefully vice versa. I guess that comes across when you listen to it. I think sometimes the music takes over, and then sometimes the voice dominates with the ebb and flow of the story, hopefully. So.
I absolutely. I've been able to listen to it, and it's exactly. I think it works perfectly. I know you probably saw my little write-up about what I thought of the album. It's fantastic. It's just so different and interesting, and it's an author that we're all familiar with and enjoy, and it's just the music is incredible. It's not what you'd expect. It's not like a soundtrack. I mean, it's
has elements of that, but it's not something that's in the background kind of thing. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is a band performing, as opposed to, like you said, just kind of being there, accentuating the drama, and that's it. Of course, it does that, but it's strong. Because these guys, I was just going to say, these guys, their background isn't doing this kind of thing. It's they are a band.
Yeah, but I mean, they're a band that's kind of influenced by, Aphex Twin and John Carpenter and Giallo soundtracks. So I mean, their influences are kind of soundtrack based or field recordings or electronica, and it's a kind of amalgam of all those influences. And the previous albums have been very. They've kind of had like a narrative background, but so there is a flow to the tracks, but there's not been any. I mean, there's been kind of muttered or very slight, like through a vocoder or something, altered kind of words rather than it being sung lyrics or anything. So it's very much that's the usual stuff, but each album they kind of change it slightly. They're evolving, and I think they're very interesting. And I sort of was a fan of theirs before they approached me to come on board with this.
Yeah, they're not just a few noobs.
No, I mean they've been in bands before. It's Lee Cullen and his brother Danny. They did a rock band years ago and stuff. But I think with Duke Street Workshop, they've only been around for a couple of years in this incarnation kind of thing. So,
And I think
they've had 2 albums and a couple of EPs out already, so...
Is it perfect author for it, too, Lovecraft? Because when you're listening to, especially if you listen to the whole thing, each track after, it really builds, and you kind of get that feeling like you're being like sucked into madness, and it's fantastic. It's so unique, and it's kind of weird, but it totally works.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think the thing that struck me when I first listened to it back with the music mixed in, I kind of thought it was very Jeff Wayne's musical War of the Worlds, except without songs, just that kind of but it had that kind of feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it's I don't think there's anything out there at the moment that's like that. So I mean, it's definitely not a musical kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our album. So, yeah.
You said you were fans of them prior. Like, so how did this all come about? How did this project become what it is?
Well, Wigan's a very small town, and there's only one record shop, and it's kind of mainly second-hand records. So if anything interesting comes in, there's only like 1 or 2 people that will buy it. so you tend to get to know the people that are going to buy the stuff that you're after.
Mm-hmm.
So gotta watch out for when they've got money.
So you guys would like meet when it was opening, and you guys would like rumble.
We were fighting over a Claudio Simonetti album, and yeah. So, but yeah. I mean, it's. The guy behind the counter, his brother runs a small record label. So the record store is called Static Records in Wigan, and then his brother runs a record label called Static Caravan Records. And, I mean, he's elsewhere in the UK, but they've kept a kind of similar name. And the label that Lee and Danny are on. I mean, it's only a very small indie label that produces like a few hundred. Sorry, editions of a few hundred. So yeah, so this LP is going to be a 300 LP, 300 edition kind of thing, and we'll maybe do a repress or release it as a CD later. Depending on demand, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So. What's the response been? What's the response been to this album from the people who've been able to hear it already?
Pretty good. I mean, we've had reviews in The Wire, Uncut magazine, Shindig, and Starburst. Starburst, like the fantasy and cult, fantasy, horror, and science fiction magazine that's based in the UK. I think it's the longest running magazine that's still going. So they gave it a fantastic review. Shindig gave it a 4 out of 4. Record Collector gave it 5 out of 5. So it's getting kind of glowing reviews.
That's fantastic. That must feel excellent. When you started this project, did you expect that kind of response?
No, I mean, when I started the project, I kind of knew that the guys were kind of disappointed with the response from the last album, which came out as a CD, because they kind of self-produced a kind of limited edition CDR as their first album, and then their first proper album was this CD Cabin 28 that came out a year or two ago. But yes, so there was a good response to the first one, Paragon Pines, and the Lexicon of Paragon Pines, which was kind of based around the Zodiac killings, and then the Cabin 28's based around the murders in the Keddy State Park, sort of an unsolved murder case there. And they thought there'd been a good critical response to the first one. They thought there'd be more and people would be more interested, but it kind of fell a bit flat. The response to it fell a bit flat. So I loved what they were doing, and I kind of thought, well, they do belong more. Just looking at the kind of records that people like Mondo, and especially Spencer at Death Waltz, are kind of championing with Umberto and Steve Moore's stuff and stuff like that. That isn't from a soundtrack, but they're engaged with the soundtrack world and making stuff that's obviously inspired by or related to soundtracks. I kind of thought that Lee and Danny's stuff needed to find an audience in that world. So obviously, with being involved with horror films and so on, I kind of, when they suggest I do something, to me it made perfect sense, because even if our project fell flat, then at least I'd get them in front of an audience that would be more responsive. But luckily, it's all turned out really well. I'm very pleased with the album. Haven't got sick of it yet, even though I've been rehearsing for the last couple of months. So yeah.
Yeah, you were telling us before we came live that you guys are going to be performing live. Yeah,
we've got our first first gig on Saturday, which will be at the Union Chapel. Which, if you know London, it's where Bjork and the Clinic and the editors, and lots of kind of indie bands or sort of more artistic bands have been traditionally play, but we're doing like a daytime slot, which is, I guess, for lesser mortals.
But still, being at this venue, that's pretty exciting.
Or maybe nerve-wracking. I don't know.
Yes, maybe.
We hope he's going to be okay for the gig.
Sorry, I just need some more honey and lemon and whiskey.
All right, excellent.
If you need to take a quick break, let us know too.
Okay. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, it's a fairly prestigious place to play. But we've only got a short slot, so we're treating it more as a kind of album launch. Later in the year, we're doing gigs at other places, at other festivals like the Lunar Festival in Tamworth, and we're going to be towards the end of the year, we're going to be at the Abattoir Festival in Aberystwyth, which is a horror film festival, but they also have kind of live theatre and talks and bands. They had Fabio Frizzi just before Christmas, so we'll be one of the music guests at that. And then the week after that, I think we're playing with an ex-Kraftwerk member, or we're supporting an ex-Kraftwerk member in a place in the Midlands, but I can't remember. Sorry, I don't have its hand in front of me. But it's on the Facebook page, and we'll be sharing it throughout.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. Kraftwerk's recognizable, I think, to many people. That's a big thing too.
We're supporting Wolfgang Fleur, the percussionist from Kraftwerk. So
how did that happen?
That's through Jeff, the label owner who is kind of based in the Midlands, so he was in touch with that. And also, I think probably either February or March, so sort of sooner than this end of the year, rather, we're playing. We hope to be playing Satan's Hollow in Manchester, which is traditionally it's a kind of a rock club, but it's owned by the same people own that and the Fab Cafe. So the Fab Cafe is a kind of science fiction themed bar, and then the club is a kind of horror themed club. So I think we're going to be playing the.
It's cool beans. Sounds like a place to be.
Yes, yeah.
You'd mentioned listening to the music blended in, for the first time. When you were doing the voice, were you aware of what the music would be, or did they write the music after you'd already recorded the voice? How did that work?
Sorry.
No worries.
Excuse me. Sorry. Well, I kind of know their style, but I didn't know what the music was going to be, point by point kind of thing. So, Lee just wanted me to do a dramatic reading that wasn't too over the top, it wasn't, or too straight. So it wasn't just a straightforward reading of the text. It's a kind of slightly, enacted kind of reading of the text. So it was kind of getting it the right balance, and then Lee went away with the tapes and chopped and changed the things around to fit in with the music that he was developing. So I think I recorded it not last November, the November before, and then by March, Lee had kind of pretty much got the music together. Or so that was I think that March is when I first heard it, and then it had to go and be mastered and so on. So yeah.
So you have a theater background and experimental theater. What are you thinking of doing for this live show? Is there going to be a theatrical aspect? Is it going to be more about sitting back and just taking in the music and you're speaking?
For this Saturday's one, I think we're just going to do it very low key. I think as we get to the bigger festivals, like the Lunar Festival in June with Badly Drawn Boy and the Mariachis and the Zombies and Matt Berry, we're going to be alongside them. So I think we're going to have for From Beyond, we'll have one state of on stage, and then for the Hound we'll have a different state. So it'll be probably sort of projections and oil lamp colours saturating the stage for From Beyond, and then very minimal lighting for the Hound, and maybe some looped film in the background for the film. For the Hound.
Setting an ambiance, not having anything that's going to distract from what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be running around sort of trying to pretend to be digging up graves or anything, but it's more because HP Lovecraft stories are always, they always tend to be about somebody recounting something that happened to them or a friend of them, and if it's them, it's when they're just before they know they're about to die or something, or go mad. Or they're talking about a friend who's already gone mad, so or died, kind of thing. So it's like things have already happened, but the truth of the situation is what's disturbing, and what you're left with at the end, kind of thing. So these are very much anecdotes that are being told, and so we kind of want to keep that kind of storybook, or that kind of sitting in a gentleman's club and listening to tales of terror kind of thing. So we want to keep that ambience more than anything. So.
By the way, what kind of whiskey are you drinking? What's the brand?
Tonight, just the cheap supermarket brand. That's not. It's purely for medicinal purposes. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not for pleasure. I do like a nice single malt, like a Isle of Jura or something like that. But,
Yeah. So, well, if people come to see you live, if they enjoy it, that I was just wondering, what they could buy you.
and go and buy the album.
Well, there you go. There you go.
If they wanted to bring some Canadian Club whiskey, I would not turn it down. So.
If all goes well, are there any thoughts of coming over here?
Well, ideally, but I mean, it's hard to kind of think. So I don't know. I don't think the guys know much about the music scene over in the States, and also I can't think of any like I can think of Abattoir that would put us on here, but I can't think of any festivals or conventions that would put us on in the US, because I think rock and metal is such a more dominant part of horror culture over there, and the fan culture. I think so. I don't know. Is there an electro subculture of horror fandom? Probably is, but I just don't know if there's a convention or film festival that would bring.
If there is, somebody send me a message, because right now I'm aware. I like our rowdy American folks.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun, but it's a very different kind of feel to it, where you've got like sort of more of a interest in the classic Peter Cushing sorts of stories, the Hammer films and such, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's the craziness that we've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and things like that.
But I kind of think I know Goblin toured America and Fabio Frizzi has been over there, but I mean I guess they're famous enough to warrant bringing them over from Europe. So I don't know what.
So you can open for Goblin.
Yeah, because
if Goblin or Fabio need a support, we're glad to do that.
Band we had on the show, Pinkish Black, they actually toured with Goblin and opened for them, and their sounds similar. So I think there is an audience for it.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I mean, just looking at what Mondo have in their kind of Mondo Selects kind of range, and hopefully they're going to be featuring our album too. Fingers crossed. I think that's what I heard anyway.
Well, I think last time we had you on, the editor had not been released yet in the United States, and now it has been.
Yes. Yeah.
So what's that been like, the reaction for the editor? Because for me, I thought it was one of the best movies of last year, maybe the year before. I'm a big fan of restaurant sex in general.
Well, I think I think it's one of the that and Human Centipede 2 are the things that I'm most proud of in filmmaking terms that I've been involved with, and I think it's been good. There's been a good reaction from people that have seen it, but I don't know how big whether it actually breaks out beyond horror fans that are into giallos kind of thing. If anyone out there hasn't seen it, I would really recommend it. I don't necessarily think you need to know much about giallos, but it's kind of a spoof of that genre. But a kind of loving spoof that kind of works as a giallo on itself, in itself anyway. So go out and see it. I'm only in it a little bit, but the Ashland 6 guys are brilliant in it.
Oh, yeah.
What I was going to say was, they have a new movie coming out soon, The Void, and I think it'll be a little more mainstream because it's monsters and stuff. And I hope that people who like that when it comes out will go and watch some of their previous stuff and see their other work. Because it's definitely worth
Yeah.
seeing.
Well, it's an umbrella group of 5 or 6, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I think with the editors, because it was Adam and Matthew kind of writing and directing, and Connor as well. And I think the Void is more the other two's kind of work. So it's, but they're all kind of involved and across the projects. But yeah, I think whoever takes directing or writing turn kind of brings their voice to it, or their side of the bargain to it, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think Father's Day and the editor have one kind of feel. I think Mamborg and The Void will have a different feel. But at the same time, if you look at their shorts, you see both kind of feels all kind of mixed up. You see those different elements all mixed up. So they do work well together.
Mm-hmm. Father's Day is just crazy. The editor is awesome and wild, but Father's Day is just nuts.
Yeah.
But they are very similar. You could tell both those movies are the same vibe.
Yeah. I think I really think that they're improving from film to film, and so I just hope that they do connect to make a lot of money, because they deserve it. They've they haven't made much so far because of certain financial dealings with a certain company that should remain nameless.
It hasn't remained nameless.
Should they remain nameless, or are you?
Yeah, they were not talked about favorably on our Joel Reed video that's out right now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It is a shame. I don't know how much you want to talk about that, but it is a shame because I'll just say the guy seems like a nice guy, but yeah, like Neil was saying, we've heard about this from one person.
Really charming. I just, I think people can be one thing and operate in a different way. So
true enough.
I think Lloyd's lovely and charming. I don't particularly like the way he operates. So. But he's a nice, pleasant guy, face to face. Yeah, and I'm sure. I know that the guys at Aston 6 think the same. That he's a nice guy to work with, nice guy to meet and be around, but not necessarily to have signing a contract with. So.
Which is, I think, a fair. I mean, if that's pretty fair, if that's how a person operates, and people are consistently not happy with business practices, then just stay friends. just enjoy one another's company, and there you go.
No, obviously, last year you went around the world basically for Human Centipede 3. So what was the whole experience like? Because we saw you in LA. I know you went to Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, went to Australia, did a tour of the Australian capitals, the state capitals, like I did with Human Centipede 2. Mm-hmm. It was it was just kind of it was great. It was good to see people, good to see people. A lot of people that I'd seen before came out in Australia, because a lot of people that I'd met at screenings with Human Centipede 2 came out for Human Centipede 3, say hello and so on. But it just ended up being a blur, and I was just very tired at the end of it. So I mean, from like. The end of April through to mid-August, and then at the end of August I went to Fright Fest. I mean, I know that wasn't work. That was just kind of just hanging out at the film festival. But all the way through that, I barely had a day or two at home, kind of thing. So so it was just the whole thing was quite tiring. but enjoyable, really enjoyable. So,
For,
the guys at Monster Pictures took really good care of me, and they were great. So,
from part 2 to 3, what were the differences? Like, were people more accepting of the movie for part 3? Was there bigger interest from press? So what was the difference?
I don't know. I think with part 2, everyone had the hook that it had been banned, and so the press were kind of interested in it because of that. So I think with part 2, I tended to get the same questions asked over and over and over again. Whereas with part 3, I think it's a completely different kettle of fish, and it's more. The questions were more about kind of Tom and the working style, and whether 3 was going to be the end, and the fact that 3 is a comedy rather than the darkness of part 2, and so on. So it's very much like that. I mean, Australia, the audience had kind of heard about the reaction kind of in America and so on. So they were kind of more prepared for it to be a comedy, I think. And so generally the audiences enjoyed it more, I think. There wasn't that what have I just seen, or that was the worst that was the worst thing I've ever seen. That was the worst film I've seen in last year or ever, I think somebody wrote something earlier today.
I've seen it multiple times. I've tried to. I can't say I'm a fan. I love almost everyone involved. I really want to like it, but I don't know. It's just unfortunately not a fan of the movie. I feel really bad saying that, but
The Room.
the
Worse
room.
than
Well,
Bird
the room. Oh god.
Worse than Egon. I think
Yeah.
I think you may have been exaggerating somewhat for effect.
You're probably
Maybe it was maybe you were really disappointed in it, but that doesn't mean it's the worst film ever.
I think the thing is, you see 1 and you see 2, and you just, like you said, the American audience was right there, ready to see this, had no idea what was going on, and you just think, what's that?
They got it first, and they got it first. So So yeah, no, I completely understand that.
Do you think that it was a parody of America had anything to do with that?
Maybe I kind of think it's not that I think that viewers in America saw it and thought, well, I'm offended by them parodying America. I just think the kind of broader elements of the parody are more kind of accepted or taken as a joke elsewhere, outside of America.
I would think that would actually go over.
I don't think Americans are butthurt by Tom's parody of some satire.
Yeah.
I just think it's it doesn't it doesn't appeal to their sense of humour. It's not that they're offended by him. I think a lot of Tom's sense of humour is also about bad TV and bad wobbly sets and bad colour chrome and so on. And I think unless you're kind of used to those
picking on Americans,
parodies of American entertainment. That's what I should say.
This is probably even a worse thing to say about America, but I would think that a lot of that would just go over Americans' heads. That they wouldn't even understand that this was supposed to be parody.
You say that I
So yeah, but
I've seen it a couple of times now, and I think it does get. I think it gets better with repeated viewing. I don't think it's necessarily the best film of the trilogy, but I think it's it does pay. It does pay to watch it once.
Mm-hmm.
So
I found that the first time I didn't know. I really, honestly didn't know what to think. I even said that to Alone. She asked. It was almost our parting words. She asked what I thought, and I said, I'm gonna have to think about it. But then I saw it again, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I've seen it now many, many months later, and I feel like I see the I think I appreciate the good stuff more, and can really see the strengths. It's more polar now, where you've got super strong scenes, and then you've got scenes that are really clearly, eh.
Yeah.
But for the strong scenes, I mean, you're so fun. Your character really is. He's adorable. Dwight is just a lovely, adorable little guy, and you want the best for him. And it's really easy to get it. I think it's easy to get into everybody, but Bill is really, and Tom had said this, that he was going to be kind of the worst. That this was, I mean, just the over the top villain that no one can like. He's pretty hard to like. I feel bad for him now and then, but I like villains, so. But he's kind of disgusting, a bit.
But I think it is just the torrential outpouring that comes from the character that you just can't. You can't get a handle on him and can't relate to him emotionally and kind of thing, because he is despicable and he is loud and he is loud and aggressive to the point of boringness, kind of thing. I think, as a character, I don't, I don't think that's. I think Dieter's acting, on the other hand, is much more interesting, and I could see kind of elements of Mel and kind of different kind of aspects of experimental theatre in his acting. So I when people criticise Dieter's acting in it, I kind of disagree with that. I think the character itself is perhaps so aggressive that you can't relate to it, but I don't think that's necessarily something on Dieter's acting choices, I think. So.
Mm-hmm. So I want to mention, because they put out the box set where it's all three, and for the first time, they have the second one in color. And
yes,
were you happy to see that it's released in color? And
I think the Human Centipede 2 in its form is that it's in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I think the colour makes an interesting extra on the disc, rather than it's not a different version. But I think what happens when you watch, I mean, some people love the colour version, but I think it's a weaker film personally.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's why it was put into black and white to begin with, because I assume all of you thought it added to the movie.
Yeah, but I think I don't think the colour version is a replacement. I think it's just an extra.
Yeah, it's very interesting to be able to see it in color, as exactly we said, as a different version of the movie. But
it still doesn't feel like a Hollywood or an American horror film, even if it's in black and white, even in colour. Sorry, because the way the colour grading is, it kind of makes it look like some kind of Czech black comedy about a nerd that kills people.
It's oddly enough, you talked about repeat viewing, and the first couple times I watched Human Centipede 2, I always found it very funny. And then the last time I saw it was when we were in Syracuse and we did Human Centipede Film Fest, and I watched it and I was like, this is a really, really dark movie. And and I saw so much more darkness in it, and it's much more horrific than, not that I thought it was lighthearted by any means, but I found it more of a real, very dark comedy when I first watched it, and then I watched it recently, and I was like, and I saw much more of the darkness in the movie, like a dramatic darkness, a horrific darkness.
I think it also depends on the audience you're
That's true.
viewing it with. I think also, I think if you watch it on your own, it kind of has more of a psychological darkness to it. But when you watch it with an audience, often. Well, I think like the first time I saw it was in the cast and crew screening, and I was kind of shocked at how dark it was, kind of thing. So, and it had a kind of really visceral kind of punch, in the sense that it kind of, I felt kind of pushed back onto my seat, like physically, so, which I thought was good. I kind of only noticed the humour in a couple of moments. But then, like going on tour with that, I kind of saw more humour in it, in a kind of bleak, dark kind of way.
When you're filming it, what did you think? How would this movie come out? Did you think it would be more comedic?
I thought we made a splatter comedy.
Uh
Hmm.
Because we had fun on set, and it was, everything was light-hearted on set. So I thought we made this kind of splatter comedy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely not. I've always loved the psychological aspects of these movies. It's a big reason why I like them. And I think the humor is kind of like, well, if I watch a Serbian film, that's incredibly dark, but there is something about how over the top it is. Just so unbelievable that when the guy screams newborn porn, I'm sorry, I think that's hilarious. Is it terrible? Yes, but at the same time, I know it's a movie, and it's just so crazy that I can laugh about it.
But also, the character that screams out is the kind of epitome of the US influence, kind of money grabbing, Eastern Europe that's kind of eager to get its hands on Western money and do it by fair means or foul kind of things. And it is that kind of unrepentant, sudden shift into capitalism kind of thing. So.
It's funny because I just think that's the way people. It's kind of sad. I just expect that's just how people in every country is. Is it just really mostly an American way of being, the whole capitalist money thing?
No, but it's more that media that they get in, certainly in the kind of Eastern Europe. The media that they were influenced by, it isn't like BBC. It isn't kind of Benny Hill and Are You Being Served or whatever. It is MTV. It's all kind of flash, money kind of thing. It's so it's just from meeting and knowing sort of Eastern European people just after the after everything went tits up and everyone suddenly have to shifted from a communist or socialist government through to a capitalist system, then it was a kind of, there was no slow transition. It was literally one day you're this, one day you're that, and so everyone's suddenly, it's the Wild West, and everyone's going to try and grab what they can,
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it's the same. The people that grab the most are the ones that had the most beforehand, So you see, you travel through, Bulgaria and Hungary and whatever. And all the big restaurant chains that are staffed by women in short skirts and so on are all owned by the communist leaders.
So on a potentially more positive note, what are the differences working with Americans and working with Europeans, whether it be directors or the cast and crew?
Well, I've only worked with Europeans, apart from Tom. The only other Europeans I've worked with have all been English, British, kind of thing, other than in theatre. But So yeah, I mean, England's quite different from sort of well, Eastern Europe is very different from Western Europe. Continental Europe is very different from England or the UK. And that's kind of, England and the UK is more kind of Americanized. It's not Americanized, but it's more in sympathy with America, I guess, in terms of our relationship to capitalism. So.
Here in the chat room here, Al Oob wants to know thoughts on working with Tiny Lister.
Yeah. I'm sure he's a remarkable gentleman and actor, but I didn't see that. He was in his car a lot of the time, in his 4x4. I'm sure that he was trying to build himself up into character and so on, but he wasn't in character on set.
You have such a graceful way of kind of, sort of insulting me. It's wonderful. You're a master.
Maybe there's reasons why. I don't want to disparage anyone, because I think maybe there are reasons why a big flat screen TV screen and a bigger changing. Well, yeah, demanding a Winnebago for yourself, whereas even the biggest stars than him are sharing a truck kind of thing. So I don't know why. I don't know why there is in America this thing of you've got to have the biggest and best stuff and not in order to feel important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even having bigger and better, being given bigger and better things than people that are obviously higher up than you, or better, or more talented. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about Eric Roberts and Robert Sarda kind of thing. So, I don't see why you would demand more than what everybody else is getting, and then throw a hissy fit about it when you weren't given what you demanded.
It was. I've actually read some of his comments, and there is very strange how he didn't want to be part of the Human Centipede, and he didn't want to be in the back, and all. And I was like, I can understand that if it's like I don't want to do that, but why would you sign up for the movie?
Yeah. It's like he didn't want to do anything that his character did in the script. So,
right. So it's like, if you're really against it, and you turn it down, it's like, okay, that's, he doesn't want to. But if you actually sign up for it and you've read the script, you can no longer say, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, it is Human Centipede.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're assuming that he read the script.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't think he did. But,
even if you've never seen the movies, I would think just hearing the name, if you have never paid attention to the media, the words Human Centipede would, for me, inspire some curiosity as to what I was getting into.
Yes.
As I'm sure it did for you. And anybody else involved in the movies.
Right.
Well, yeah, I saw the photo of the first three guys. I think the first time I googled Human Centipede anyway, so...
There was I have dealt with them very little with my wrestling show, and it was not positive at all. So I'll just say that.
What's the
with Tiny Lister? Yeah, because I don't know if you know, but he was formerly Zeus. He wrestled Zeus. Yeah, and it was an extremely big ego, I'll say. But whatever.
Yeah,
you could say whatever you want. You're not under the gun. Just say he was an asshole.
He was, yes. He was, and he ended up not even coming on anyway after making all these different demands and had to ask all these questions. And then he didn't do it anyway, so it was just a big waste of time.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the day, he was like, I'm not doing this. I don't do podcasts, and I was thinking, well, why'd you even talk to me and go through all of this? What was the point? But yeah.
I mean, I think I think he's got a great look, and I think he does kind of work effectively as a kind of visual thing, and he can say lines. So I'm just trying to think of some really good to say, but I can't. I'm too.
He's very tall.
I can't be asked. Sorry.
He's got an interesting floating eye.
Oh man. So yeah. So I don't know if you've ever seen his film with Hulk Hogan as Zeus, but I don't think you need to see it.
Over the Top.
Oh no, not Over the Top. That's
That's the arm wrestling.
That's the arm wrestling movie. Yeah, man. No holds barred. No holds barred.
No holds barred. That's right. Stan the Lariat Hansen steals that movie.
Yeah. No holds barred. It really is something. Now I'm really interested though in a movie you do have coming up is The Keeper, because I think the art for the poster is amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's very good. It's basically it's the production team behind Psychotronic People VHS Forever, which is kind of documentary about the VHS scene in the kind of 80s, at the time of the video nasties and so on. But it kind of focused on the Psychotronic store, which used to be based in Camden. It's gone now, but they still keep it as a mail order thing. But so it's kind of looking at the people that were kind of part of that scene in the 80s and 90s, and just interviewing them. I mean, it's a kind of interesting documentary, but there's been so many about that kind of era and the video nasties in particular lately that if you haven't caught it, that's probably why. But yeah, it's the production team behind that. It's written by it's a story written by a guy based in Wigan actually, who was in the Cabin 28 video that Lee and Danny had made for the title track of the last album, and I was in that video as well. So we got talking, and it came around that he was writing this. He's got a short story that was adapting into a script with the Psychotronic People, and then so I'm all signed up, ready to shoot it. They're just trying to get funding from Film London, I think, and they should know at the beginning of February, and then we shoot it sometime in spring. So
very cool.
But yeah, it's a kind of it's a M.R. James kind of M.R. James love story, an M.R. James ghost story, about a kind of it's about a cursed heirloom, should we say, and I play the character that kind of knows everything about it and tells all the history and is kind of a bit evil at the end. So it's going to be, I guess, a kind of longish short, so about kind of 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So let's wait and see. I mean, they're trying to get I don't know if you know an old BBC film called, it's an M.R. James story called Whistle and I'll Come to You. They're trying to get that kind of feel to it anyway. So.
I've heard of that. I can't remember if I've seen it or not. It was recommended to me.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think who's the Michael Holden is the main character in it.
Let me see here. Probably not from 2010. Did they remake it in 2010?
They did remake it, yeah.
Oh, I love this. Yes, I've seen this. It's wonderful.
I'm sure it's been on YouTube and stuff, but yeah. And, there's a ghost in it, but it's basically a bit of tarpaulin or a sheet hanging in the back. But it's just because it's treated so well and it looks so abstract that it kind of works. It's very good.
And all the characters are very odd, and the guy himself is kind of odd. You don't really.
Yeah.
I think, Neil, if you haven't seen it, you'd like it because you like when people get challenged about their beliefs if they're all sciencey and stuff, or quote unquote logical. It's really cool. It's a black and white film.
But I mean, he's very logical, but at the same time, he's got this. You know that his wife just died, and he's emotional as well. So it's kind of, you can see why things happen.
Jeffrey Groot has an interesting question. He says, "What are the things that make you laugh outside of films? What makes you happy, and what do you find humor?
Timeliness is demands on set. What makes videos of children being hit?
That's our common.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I find most things funny apart from Hollywood comedies. So, yeah. Things that I don't know if anything in particular makes me laugh or makes me funny, but yeah.
But Adam Sandler has a new movie out that's kind of a late. I'm sure you'd love. I actually started watching it, not realizing it was Adam Sandler movie, and it is. Once you see him.
What was the movie?
The Ridiculous Six.
Oh, that's a series on Netflix.
It's a series?
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's not.
Really? Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's a movie.
Oh, I thought it was a series. I haven't watched it. But...
No, it's a movie. Yeah, I didn't. I just saw the title, and with the Hateful Eight being around, I thought, oh, this. I saw something that said Blazing Saddles. It was compared to the modern, modern Blazing Saddles. So I thought, oh, I'll check it out.
And it's the modern day Blazing Saddles. What you say?
Sure.
Stephen Molesworth wants to send his love.
Hi, Steve. I miss you. Yes, I have to see you sometime whenever I'm invited to the States again. Yeah.
Whenever they lift the ban.
Well, we had a nice time with Steve in LA a few years ago. It was nice.
Yes, it was good.
So, by the way, do you have any upcoming appearances at any conventions in the States or in the UK?
Nobody's booked me. So yeah, if anyone wants to book me, yeah, that's good. Yeah, because I need to come over and see my fiancée. So that would be lovely to see her.
Yeah. That's very exciting. You were not. You did not have this plan when last we spoke. Well, I'm sure you had the plan, but we didn't know about it.
No, I didn't have the plan. It's just developed over time. She makes me happy. So.
Yeah.
Seems to. You guys just are lovely together.
She was actually on. Yeah, she was actually on the show last time we had you on.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, she was over here last time. I think. Yeah. Yeah, she tried to make me watch what was it? The Reprehensible Six. Oh.
That's a better.
So you were not really into it yourself?
Well, I kind of realised that it was an Adam Sandler film before she did. So.
I think that's a better name, though. The Reprehensible.
But I love Terry Crews, so he's always great.
You're,
Well, Sandler always has good people in his movies. It's just that he's also in it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to say in the beginning I had hope, and then as soon as he showed up, I was, oh man, why? I mean, even if he made the movie and just wasn't in it, maybe.
I do like.
See, I was all set
Punch
to see Pixels until Peter Dinklage is in it, and then I found out that Adam Sandler and Kevin James were in it.
Yeah, I guess that one didn't go over well either.
Yeah. I don't think I've heard one good review of the film. The Pixels. It did look kind of
So
funny.
are you saying it could be a worse film than Human Centipede? I mean, is this an admission on your
This
part?
is the throwdown.
It'll be a new part of the Without Your Head review system.
Yep.
Was it worse than Human Centipede 3?
Damn yeah!
Oddly enough, you mentioned The Room. A few months ago, they were showing both The Room and Room the same night at one of our theaters. Yeah, and I just thought, what if someone buys a ticket to The Room and goes into Room, or vice versa?
Or either way.
Yeah. Like, this is not what I expected at all. Let's see here. The Room I don't even think is really that entertaining. Even just as a bad movie, it's just kind of bad.
No, when we were in the theater, because I remember leaving Hell Baby, which we really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there was all kinds of loud craziness in one of the other smaller theaters in the same building. And what is this in the Room? And so they played it again, and we went to see it, and it was. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we didn't drink enough.
Maybe not. Let's see here. Al Ulb, have you ever gotten sexually aroused while filming a movie?
No. What?
He's a professional.
Why would you get sexually aroused? Making a film?
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't know if you've ever heard any of Al Ulb's fan fiction, but that's probably the tamest thing he could have possibly asked you.
All right. Okay.
I'd like to ask Al if he's ever been sexually aroused while watching.
Well, no.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst doing his work, so whilst writing
a fanfic, I bet.
I'm sure he does.
Yes,
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Yes, they're very rape heavy and.
With Neil and Troy and Neil's co-host or old co-host here, but current co-host on his wrestling podcast, John, I always remain unscathed. It's wonderful.
And I've always died in everyone.
Yeah, well, you did rape John with a strap-on blade on the last one.
I didn't. Oh yeah, she did. That's right.
Yeah, you've had your rapey moments too.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But I die though. I pay the price.
Shoot. Neil goes to jail a lot, I think.
He does, and his are usually open-ended. You think he's gonna die, but you're not quite sure.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Adam Sandler is the Trump of comedy.
Good.
I can buy that. I like that.
Kate says he hates everything I watch.
No, I don't.
What are some of the films you both really enjoy?
Lateral, by Jean Vigo. I can't think of a contemporary film that we both like. The Editor. The Editor and Human Centipede 2.
Because you guys watch a lot of movies together.
I mean, we liked It Follows.
I really like that movie.
I mean, I didn't think it. I wasn't going to rave about it like other people did, but I thought it was interesting. We both really liked We Are Still Here.
I did too. Honestly, that's probably
a tremendous movie.
Yeah, it's either my favorite. It's up there from one of my favorite horror movies of the year. I really thought it was great.
Yeah.
It's really a good combination of like slow build, but it also had like a really cool payoff, and it's a really good movie.
I mean, it kind of loses its logic at the end, but in my opinion. But at the same time, I think it's just got such a nice atmosphere and a nice build up that it just that's kind of forgivable, I think.
Mm-hmm. So. And it's nice that it's an older cast for the most part. A lot of like modern horror movies are all like 20 somethings, and it's just, there's a lot going on there. Has a nice feel to it. And that was his first movie he directed, which is I think is impressive.
I think Ted's written a lot of things before.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I think they announced something recently that he has his new movies being made now, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I think he's got. I think he'll be an interesting director to watch in the next few.
Andy wants to know: is there a role in a film that you saw where you said, "Wow, I would have loved to play that part"? And if so, what was it? The Toby Jones part in Barbarian Sound Studio. I just think it's such a wonderful film, a great part. I love that film. Mm-hmm. But I think Peter Strickland's a really good director. I liked the Duke of Burgundy and Catherine of Varga, which was one he did before Barbarian Sound Studio. So. Is there anything coming out that you would like to talk about? Because you have a lot of stuff coming out on the horizon.
Not really. No. Well, I mean, the editor's now available on DVD and Blu-ray in the States. I hope people go and pick that up. Banjo had its UK premiere last August. I think it's played a couple of festivals in the US. I think it got an award at one, like an audience award at one, or best horror comedy or something.
Yeah.
That's if you like. Liam's very influenced by Trauma and very influenced by Frank Henenlotter, and it's a kind of English stab at that kind of thing. And for the most part, I think it comes off really well. And it's silly, I'd recommend it if you. I'd recommend it if you're looking for a fun, gory film.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Blair Bathory actually told me that was her favorite movie of last year.
Yeah. It's and it's educational as well. If you've ever wondered what a banjo strap was.
Oh, really? I'm gonna watch it and be a banjo.
Okay, and then there's another UK film called Dead Love, which I don't know if it's going to come out at all at any point, but it's finished. Fingers crossed. And a short called The Rats, which hopefully I think the director Mark Logan I think will be trying to kind of expand on that. But yeah, that's with Nicholas Burnham Vince.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had them on a few months ago. So where is that at right now? Is that in festivals now?
No, it's not been released yet. It's just I know it's been going through editing. I think I think he's certainly got the first edit done. I think he's going to go back. But he's starting to plan the next one. I'm not sure if it's still part of the Rats trilogy that he had in mind, but we'll wait and see.
He actually gave away that there were no rats in Rats.
Yeah, it's just the scratching and scrabbling that is explained away by dismissively explained away by it's the Rats.
He was a very funny guy, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah,
I don't think the film will be. I don't know. It's
Well, I mean,
I was gonna say,
he seemed like a good
I
guy,
don't
so
think-
I'm looking forward to seeing
Funny.
his work. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I've seen too that he was. I think he was even talking about Rat's feature film, but maybe that's what you meant. Like it would be like some short stories together. I'm not sure.
No, he wants to do a feature film and another short.
Mm. Well, we'll let everyone know. Artist of the Month this month is the Duke Streak Workshop. We've been playing them all month. People have been really digging it. It's very unique. It's cool stuff. And is it next week that the album is out?
Yes, yeah. It's available to pre-order at a few places. If you're in the UK, Norman Records, Rough Trade, the usual, Juno, and the usual places. In America, I think it's going to be distributed by Mondo, but I haven't seen an announcement from them yet. They might wait until like next week. Yeah, so I think there's places on Amazon everywhere that is selling them. So, like in Germany and Japan. So.
After this interview, we're actually going to be playing one of the tracks, The Machine, which Lee sent us to play exclusively here on the show prior to its release. So people listening, you can listen to the upcoming track here, The Machine, and you'll get an idea of what this album will be like. But trust me, it's really cool if you get to hear them from beginning to start. It's a totally different feel. So it's always wonderful to have you here, Laurence.
All right. Well, I was going to say that as well, coming out next year, there's also Bogeyman Reincarnation is still meant to be coming out at some stage. Egomaniac, another British low-budget film. Frankenstein Creative Bikers with Tristan Risk and Ellie Church. And then coming up work-wise, apart from The Keeper, there's Old Lantern Family thing with the Saskers to come up, so, and lots of things that I can't talk about.
So no news on Elephant Man of War?
No, it's still in the kind of planning stages. I think Brian's changed the script a few times.
Yeah, Brian, if you're listening, put away your Kiss stuff for a little bit and get to work on this on Elephant Man of War. Guy's obsessed with Kiss.
He's playing with his Kiss dolls as we.
I think he is.
The old Mego ones with the actual air. I always like those.
Yeah, I actually have them on the bookshelf behind me.
You're a big fan of Kiss?
No, but I have the dolls because they were Troy's dolls. And he passed them down to me. And also I saw Brian was eating vegan chili earlier. I'm questioning if he's even a man at this point in time. But no, Brian's a very good guy. I'm looking forward to, hopefully that will happen at some point in time.
Was it mild vegan chili?
Probably so. It's probably so.
That would definitely prove he's not a man.
What did we have when we were at Rock and Shock? It was the first time I'd met you. It was like fried chicken and jalapenos.
It was the hot way.
Yeah, I know, but I don't remember what's
pizza.
on it. It was amazing.
It was hot sauce and jalapenos
and chicken fingers, I think.
Was it chicken on it?
There was honey and mustard barbecue, honey and mustard wings.
Was that on the pizza you guys had?
Yes, it was so good. I was concerned, but then eat it, and it was amazing. I think that was the first time I ever had jalapenos on a pizza, and I've loved it ever since.
Yes. It's good times. Good times. That video's up somewhere on YouTube.
Somewhere mysterious on YouTube?
Well, I think it's on our old account. I don't think it's on our new one.
You should really upload it to the new one.
They yell at me. They say, there's multiple copies of this. And then YouTube just yells at me.
Mm-hmm.
They're bastards that way. Plus now we can only put 15-minute videos up because.
Oh well, that's a whole other thing. Shame on you, John Waters.
Because John Waters
Picking on us little independent people.
Yeah. I think we should go
Doing
rough 'em
exactly what he was telling us to do.
up. Uh-huh.
Irreverence for the system.
Mhm.
Bam!
He's like,
What's
We
this-
went to
John
we went to
Waters.
this we went to this event in Somerville. We went to
Slutcracker.
I don't think it was last year. I think it was a year before. Slutcracker, which is just as silly, campy. Has nothing to do with the Nutcracker, really, very much at all. It's about a giant dildos. It's about a dildo a girl gets from her friend for Christmas, and it disturbs her relationship because she just got engaged on Christmas Eve. Anyways, this year John Waters did the opening day intro, so so I recorded it. No one said you can't record. No one. It did not get said don't record. They said, just enjoy the show and don't use your phones. No one said anything about recording, so I was recording. And he's very fun, and he's John Waters, and thought, oh, that'll be really cool as part of the opening to this video of where we talk about it and review it, because, we enjoy this theater, we enjoy the performance, and so it made sense. And so it was uploaded, and I don't know how soon, it was pretty much right away. Neil, you're the one that got the message. I asked for a copy of it, which I have yet to receive, so I can review it for myself.
Well, it's right. It's in our shared email account, so you can look at it.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, it's just that came up that John Waters, there's no, email, saying, hey, could you take this down? It's just, bam. John Waters says he owns this, and then they just take the video down and put a strike on your account. And
yeah, but what's the strike on the account? You got to say that because it's pretty fucking severe.
Yeah, the
I
strike
just got to
on the
say
account,
it like that because it's insane.
Yeah, there's no we can't put up videos longer than 15 minutes. You can't. There's a lot of things you can't do. A lot of them we didn't do anyway. 6 months. 6 months. Yeah, we can't do live stuff.
When
we
your
can do
whole
the
thing
Hangout.
is putting up videos, the dinner to movie kind of is a video thing.
So yeah, so
it sucks. It really sucks. And the thing that was ironic, and Neil joked around with this with me, and I thought it was a brilliant point, is that this guy is all about, damn the man and do your thing and be subversive, and yet here we are. Not even thinking we didn't even think we were doing anything wrong, and not trying to at the end, a theater person came over to me and said to put it away, and that was fine. But
it's not like it was a
whatever.
copyrighted
It wasn't like
movie.
You can't do. It was not presented in a way that I thought we were doing anything. Bad.
It wasn't like one of his films or anything. It was his live intro to the Slutcracker.
Specifically to that show, which is nowhere else in all of America, and he'll probably never do again.
Yeah, which I thought would actually bring interest to the Slutcracker, and if you'd ever see John Waters performing somewhere, and say, hey, this is
that's exactly why we wanted to put it up. It's exactly why I want to record it.
Yeah.
But no, John Waters.
And there was if you would have sent some kind of notice and, hey, this isn't cool, can you take it down?
It probably takes just as long to do the same thing. It's not like you can't be contacted.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was sad.
You were very depressed.
So now that's why the videos are 15-minute episodes. I wasn't just trying to be like, hey, let's do these in 15-minute episodes. We were forced to.
But, hey, it did work out, right? Now
it did work out.
It's kind of a little bit nice, a little bit. We saw the bright side of things.
Yeah, the Joel Reed, for people out there listening to this, and I'm sure if you like Laurence Harvey, you'd also like Joel Reed, who directed Bloodsucking Freaks. I'm not sure what they have in common, but you can go and you can watch that video, and it's in 9 15-minute segments, and it is very cool. It's very cool. And so anyway, Laurence Harvey is here. And hopefully we won't wait another year. We'll hopefully have you back sometime in 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you'd like, whenever you've got a project coming on, whenever you just want to hang out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Come on, you can yell at me. You can yell at me.
Always welcome. Lawrence has an open invite.
Well, yeah, I mean, but also it'd be nice to be over there and see you guys.
Definitely. Yeah,
That
it's been
would
a long
be
time.
very nice.
Mhm.
That would be very nice. I would love to make a trip to see you. It's been a while. Well, I mean last year, but that was different. You know, that was exhausting for you guys to be doing your tour for Human Centipede, and you were doing so many recordings and shows and things like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. See, I do. I'm thinking about this now the way I'm saying, because I do recommend you to people who have conventions. But then I think if I say that, he'll think maybe that's why they haven't booked me. Neil's telling him.
those without your head people are involved. No.
Hold on, I've got somebody that wants to join in.
Oh, good.
Oh, excellent.
I know who this is.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Hello? There we go.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
No.
Hold on a minute.
I think
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Can you hear us?
Hey, hello?
She's shy.
Hi, Katie.
She got all shy. I was just about to say it would be great to see you again, but I've really been wanting to meet Kate. 'Cause she's so lovely and she makes you happy and it's wonderful. We're all happy for you. And happy for Kate because you're a sweet guy and it's great. It's not like you just lucked out and there's some kind of bomb.
No, I did look out.
I don't think you need to explain. I'm sure.
Well,
You're
Well, I have a very, very good friend I've known for many, many years, and I love him because he's my friend, but his wife is a saint because he's an asshole. So that does happen, but we like you, Lawrence. You're a good guy.
Yeah, I like Lawrence. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
It's been a long time
And not the
since
same
Lawrence.
way I like that friend where he's an asshole, but I love him anyways.
Uh-huh.
Hold on.
That's more like how you like me.
Hello?
Hello!
Hi, Kate.
She made it.
See, she's been listening.
So, listening world, this is Kate, who is the fiance of the fantastic Laurence Harvey.
Yes. Yeah.
So do you guys have any kind of date set yet?
No, not yet. Just whenever I'm in America.
Is there a plan for you to move to America?
No, not me. No.
So, is there a plan for Kate to move to England?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's pretty sweet. I'm kind of jealous.
Perfect.
I'm an ordained minister.
Find someone for me to marry so I can move to England too. Then we could all hang out at that horror place.
Yeah.
It's only Manchester. It's not far.
Oh, really? No kidding.
Yeah. It's the major city around here.
Yeah, I have a really good. Do you know who Rick Hudson is?
Yeah.
We're very good friends, and he lives in Manchester.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, tell him he's going to come along to see the HP Lovecraft. So.
I will. I will. He'll be very interested because he's a writer. He's actually a professor of literature, and he's a horror guy. So I think he'd love it. He does experimental music. This is all him. I'll message him as soon as we're done talking. I don't want to forget about it. I am a very absent-minded person.
I mean, if people are interested in hearing more of the album and they can't get to see us live, there is, I think, Thump. There's an article on Thump where where you can get a stream of the whole album. But I haven't got a link to hand. maybe I'll get Lee to read it out when he comes on.
Yeah, and then we can post it up on the webpage and withoutyour.com and on the Facebook group as well.
We'll share it everywhere. Some
Yeah, we'll
people say
flash it,
share,
right.
some people say spam. But no, we'll share it. We'll share it. So, Kate, what did you think of this? What is it? I was going to say the Insidious 6. What was it? The Notorious 6? Ridiculous 6.
Oh, I actually didn't watch it
Oh,
because he kind of declined, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, like, I mean, he made a good point, and just said, okay.
You didn't realise it was an Adam Sandler film at first. So.
Yes, well, that was what was said, and I have not watched it, so I don't have an opinion on it.
So does he shut you down on movies all the time and vice versa?
No, he does not. He does not. He has actually, I've seen a lot of films that are really great that he's introduced me to, and that I probably would not have seen without his recommendation. He puts up with what I make him watch.
Well, no, I mean, when you get home from work, you don't necessarily want to watch a black and white Hungarian film for the next 3 hours, but I can understand why you want to watch.
But he's always open to watch something and at least try it. So it's very fair.
Well, from what I've seen, every once in a while I'll take a peek at your profiles on Facebook, and it's very cute that you guys are always watching movies together. And I've been very surprised by some of the movies that Laurence has watched, and it's very cool. I like it.
No, I mean, he gives it a shot.
It seems like no matter what, you guys are having fun, even if maybe he doesn't love the movie.
Yeah, he's very good about, he knows if I'm in a particular mood or whatever, he just is very good about participating and watching things he probably wouldn't do otherwise.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand you just want to, sometimes, after work and it's been hard, you just want to sit down and relax. And also it's like finding a film that we've both got access to kind of thing. So that's often the spend hours trying to find a film that we've both got access to.
So, Kate, what is it like being in this world that you just weren't in before?
I'm sorry?
What's it like being in this new world that you found through Laurence with film and all these different movies and this whole experience? It's got to be a very different thing for you.
Very. It's very, very different, but it's exciting, and I'm very proud of him. And like, my entire world has completely changed, but it's completely changed for the better. And I'm very happy. I've not been happy in a long time, and it's a new experience, and I'm very happy to do what we have to do to make it work.
Yeah.
Can I ask how you guys met? Because I don't remember details. So how did you guys end up meeting? You were in America, he's over there, Human Centipede. What's the background here?
Honey, you can explain that.
When I was in LA and I met up with James Cullenbress and we went for lunch, and she sort of messaged then saying, "Oh, I wish I was jealous. I wish I was at lunch with me." And then, but I sort of ignored that, and then apparently I ignored her a few times, and then she sent a message saying, "I love you," and I sort of messaged her back saying, "Oh, don't be silly, don't know me, but you're very cute, and I'm blushing. Thank you very much." And didn't think anything of it, and then gradually, over the next few days, we kind of got talking, and trained as a nurse and so on. And then this is when my mum was ill, and so we were kind of talking and flirting and talking, and it going between looking after my mum and just us flirting, where we both were in our lives and what we wanted out of things, and so it just kind of gradually came together. Yeah, so yeah. And then 6 months later, we actually met.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, so we've got this routine of just, I keep getting kind of told I'm being booked into things, and then it falls through, and then we've ended up not being able to see each other for months on end between visits. So obviously, when I do go and visit, or she comes over here, we just want to be together, kind of thing. But then, you've got friends that you want to say hello to and stuff as well. So yeah, it's all very fast paced and
Well, I got very lucky that he messaged me.
Internet's pretty amazing.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think with this being a long distance relationship, we've only managed to sustain it through just constant talking on Skype and stuff, because then we can see each other, see what mood we're in, and
Well,
see.
I mean, we're in constant communication with each other anyway. I mean, even if it's a message or, it's and we're lucky that it makes it work that way.
Yeah.
It seems to be becoming more and more of a normal thing. I remember when people were even just meeting someone on the internet that lived, within a 30-mile radius, people were, whoa. But it seems like there's a lot of people that make their relationships work and meet people online.
Well, right, but sometimes you're like, oh, how'd you meet your boyfriend? Oh, I met him online. And they immediately think of, oh, that's creepy. And it's not always that way, but that's kind of the immediate response. And, without the backstory and that kind of thing, it's people meet each other in various different ways. And we got lucky, and I got lucky, and I'm very happy.
I think it makes sense, though, if you can sustain a relationship and really enjoy each other just through communication and words. I would think that would be more difficult to sustain than just spending time with someone and sitting around a couch. I would think that it would be easier to have a lasting relationship if your foundation is through conversation.
Right. And, for the rest of our lives, we'll remember how hard we worked to be able to be together in the same place at the same time every day. And
it always seems amazing when we actually are in the same place at the same time. So.
It's surreal. It's like, this is really happening.
Yeah. But it's also, we don't want to do anything other than just be together. So.
It's a really beautiful story. I know everybody is very happy for the both of you.
Well, everybody's been extremely kind, and we're very grateful.
What do you think of Lawrence's album?
He sent me various clips, and I've gotten to listen to it, and I am anticipating so much because he has very much spoiled me by buying me LPs and albums and things like that, and I don't have a player. So I can't listen to the things that he's bought me, but I can't wait. So I'm extremely impressed with everything that I've listened to, and I mean, his voice gets me anyway. That's just the way it goes. But listening to that, and also just being a huge fan of Lovecraft, it's amazing to me, and it's inspiring. And like I said, I'm just endlessly proud of him.
Oh.
Well, that's very nice.
See, I'm very lucky.
Well, what you mentioned, Lawrence introducing you to different films and stuff. What are some of the movies or anything you thought, like, going in, you wouldn't like, but you watch them because Lawrence liked them, that you're surprised how much you really did enjoy?
I would butcher every single title to everything that he's introduced me to that I've loved. I am a huge Catherine. Is it Devenu? Am I pronouncing that right? Right. There you go. And we've watched several films that she's been in, and I'm a huge fan of hers. And Atlante, probably butchered that too.
Atlantalance.
There you go. The version of Beauty and the Beast that he introduced me to. I love black and white films. That's honestly one of my passions that I love to watch. And it's so wonderful that he's introduced me to ones that I have not ever even thought about watching.
She reminded me of It Happened One Night as well. I mean, I always got the title confused with what's the Titanic film that's called A Night to Remember or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, It Happened One Night was the one that she introduced me to, and I sort of, and I'd seen it before, but it was nice to sort of reacquaint myself with it and admire it for what it was. So.
Is that the one where there's a scene where the floor breaks away and there's a little girl on the edge?
This is Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. It's kind of like a Cinderella story situation.
But except that, aren't they handcuffed together for most of the time? Yeah, Cinderella with kinks.
Yeah. But no, it's a beautiful film, but yeah, that's honestly my favorite film ever. So, I introduced him to one thing.
Yep, one.
One.
You guys can laugh about it. That's great.
Yeah. He does make me laugh.
Well, she introduces me to a lot of films that halfway through I realised I've seen, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it Happened One Night. I think it's very special. It's going to be. We've got certain films that are our films. Like every Thanksgiving, I think we're going to watch A Matter of Life and Death, because she was very suspect of it, and I said, give it 30 minutes. Give it 30 minutes and see if you like it. And you liked it.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
Very cool. I know Lawrence has an early morning, and it's already very late.
Yeah, well, it's okay.
Well, so we don't want to keep you here.
Yeah, actually, I should leave the program. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's been a pleasure to have you here, Lawrence, and we hope to have you back very soon. And we hope a big success with the album. And it's very cool that you have something completely different, that people can see a different side of you, and hear a different side of you.
Yeah, well, it's nice to sort of try and work in a different area of the arts. Yeah, and also to collaborate with Lee and Danny, who are work I've admired the last few years anyway. So it's good. So.
Yeah. And you can find the Duke Street Workshop if you go to facebook.com. And it's /the Duke Street is ST Workshop, and there's a hyphen between each of those.
Yeah, they're also on Bandcamp if you want to look at the older stuff as well. And on Twitter. So
yeah, and right after this, we're going to be playing The Machine, which is from the album Tales of HP Lovecraft. So you'll be able to hear an idea of the entire album. So thanks again, Lawrence. It's been great.
Thanks, Lawrence, and nice to have you again, Kate.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
This is Stephen Razor. As you know, I hate human beings, and you're listening to WithoutYourHead.com.